Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto Was Created by the God Tree. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Anime King 2 of What If Naruto became the boogeyman of the elemental nation, and enjoy that guys. And also, stay tuned for a brand new episode coming over Anime King, which I hope you guys will enjoy. And also guys, remember if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button. Yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King 2, and King 3, which I post what fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. And also go ahead and turn on those bell notifications to see exactly when I post. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last spot we left off, as Harrison along with Hayashi and the others had arrived in front of the Forest of Death, only to see a body thrown quite viciously, breaking down the fence as he crashed into one of the trees. The body belonged to the Kumo ninja that tried to steal Hinata away. Hayashi and the others turned their gaze as they saw Naruto along with the Hyuga heiress, as she was clinging on to Naruto like her life depended on it. As Hayashi stepped forward as he took his daughter, as he thanked Naruto, but he wondered what happened. Afterwards, the doctor could not explain it. Usually, when you do not have any chakra in your body at all, you died. But the doctor couldn't explain what was really going on here because this man had 0 chakra in his body. He was unable to even mold chakra anymore. But somehow he was still alive. Hayashi and Hiruzen stepped outside, as Naruto told him that he took away the man's chakra. Hayashi was surprised by that. He knew that Naruto was different, but, well, this caught him off guard. As he take away the man's chakra, how was that even possible? Naruto then created a clone. Not a normal clone, though it seemed to come from his body itself. And the clone was more darkish. Its eyes seemed lifeless. Naruto smashed his fist in the clone's stomach as it broke into the wall. But despite that, the clone got back up to its feet. As Naruto told Hiruzen that he was finished with the academy, he was able to meet the Shadow Clone Jutsu, so there was no reason for him to go back there, and he would not be going back. Hiruzen could not deny the fact that Naruto has grown. The reason why he had Naruto stay in the academy for so long was because Naruto needed the learning and the understanding that normal kids have. After all, he never had that. So maybe it was time to get Naruto out of the academy, but this would put him on the spotlight. After all, whenever a prodigy kid graduate early, well, people take notice of them. And here's another idea though, as he spoke to said counselor about this fact, as they were rather alarmed hearing that he had the ability to take away someone's chakra. Was that even possible? As Danzo wanted to know more, but Hiruzen went on with the story that Naruto was an Uzumaki, and he was loyal to the leaf. There was nothing for them to be worried about. But that was still an amazing feat, to be able to take away someone's chakra completely. Afterwards, as Naruto went home, as he had saw his little sister Mito, as she was hiding from him, but he found her, as she tried to attack him, as it was rather amusing, and also her hits, they tickle a bit. As she was surprised to hear that he rescued Hinata. Hinata was one of her friends, as she met her not too long ago, as she knew that her big brother was awesome as Kushina. Was amazing to hear that. But she wondered what Naruto was doing late out in the night, as he explained to them. Well, not all of it, but he told them that he was testing something. She knew that he wouldn't do anything bad, as Naruto had learned etiquette a long time ago, and she understand. Naruto then met up with Itachi as he spoke, as Naruto told him if the village was to turn against the Uchihas, what would he do? Because he was a ninja of the leaf. As Itachi asked him what makes he say that, as Naruto noticed lately the villagers have not been taking kindly to the Uchiha presence, especially the police force. As Itachi realized that Naruto noticed things, yes, because that was indeed true. He told Itachi that he graduated too. Itachi was happy to hear that, after which Hiruzen spoke to Kakashi as he wanted Kakashi to take Naruto under his wings for just a few months. He would be Chunin mature by then. Kakashi was surprised by that. Hiruzen had him sit down and told him that this was a secret that was not to be spoken outside of this room, other than the people that already know, as he told Kakashi exactly what Naruto was, and the man was startled by that, as that was really surprising. After which he met up with Naruto. Before that though, Naruto had went to the academy as he spoke to Izumi. As he told her that he would be leaving the academy, she was a bit bummed out because ever since Itachi left, she hadn't seen much of him and no Naruto was leaving. But Naruto kissed her right on the lips as she was caught off guard, as some things he didn't really fully understand yet. Like he shouldn't do that, but she didn't mind after all. Being kissed by Naruto Uzumaki of all people, that wasn't a bad thing. But still, she was a bit caught off guard and also blushing, as he told her he will visit her again. With that, he left afterwards. So, Kakashi met up with Naruto as he had a little spar, but Naruto stopped it before anything could go intense, as he felt like Kakashi would get hurt, and hurting a fellow Leaf Shinobi was incorrect. So with that, they spoke as Kakashi was told by Hiruzen that he didn't have to take in D-rank missions, as Naruto was strong enough to take C or B, as Kakashi was really interested to see Naruto's skills out in the field. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place, check it for yourself. So to begin this new episode. Do you have everything? Said Kushina. Yes, said Naruto. As Kushina looked towards him. Sorry if I'm getting a bit too much, she said. It's your first time out of the village. I know that you're gonna be with Kakashi, but still, I can't help but worried. I'm going to be fine, said Naruto. The academy has taught me a lot. And you as well, said Naruto. You don't have to worry about anything. I know I don't, said Kushina, but I still worry, she said. This was his first mission outside the village. He was going to be embarking on his first mission outside the village, and she was a bit nervous, worried about him, as she couldn't help it. He has been here most of his life with her. Well, his entire life since he became a human. So it just got her worried about him. To hear that he would be going on his first mission, even though she knew Kakashi would keep an eye out for him and make sure that he was safe. Not to mention she's taught him a lot over the past 3 years. A bit of her fighting style, and she has heightened his reaction time that really didn't need any help. But she just wanted to make sure that he was safe. She figured once he became 10 years old, she was going to start to teach him the art of sealing. As Naruto consumed knowledge like no one she's ever seen before, so she knew with a little propping and training, he would become a wonderful seal master, maybe even surpassing the likes of Minato. But she was still worried about his first mission, as she hoped to calm everything went well. As Naruto started to walk towards the door to exit his room. I will be fine, he said. With all that you have given me over the past couple of years, I will take them to heart and use them on this first mission that I will embark on. And they will help me, and it's all thanks to you. I love you, mother, he said. As Kushina paused. Wait, what? As Naruto turned towards her. I spoke to Itachi recently, and I realized I've never called you mother before. Even though you adopted me as your son, I've always called you Lady Kushina. I hope you don't find any problem with me calling you. He couldn't get to finish that sentence as she pulled him into a hug. Tears already in her eyes, as she was feeling so emotional right now. There is no problem. Of course there is not, she said, as she hugged him tight, as Naruto hugged her back. Afterwards, he made his way towards the living room. Kushina followed behind him as his backpack was on the ground, and there was a blanket over it. It was not closed. As Naruto was confused, he remembered leaving it on the table. They noticed the backpack moving, and the blanket as well. As Kushina leaned down and picked up said blanket to show Mito, who was trying to crawl into the backpack, but it was not big enough for her to hold inside. As the both of them looked at her, Her face was still down, given that her head was in the backpack, so she did not see them, as Naruto reached down and lifted her up by her leg. She jumped in surprise, as he scratched her cheek. "I'm going," she said, folding her arms. Now, Mito, you can't go with your brother." "What? Of course I can. I mean, what if the bad guys gang up on him out there? I have to be there so I can kick their asses and protect him just like he protected Hinata. He was Hinata's hero, so I'll be his hero." As Naruto poked her on the nose, allowing her to focus on him, as he flipped her over so she was facing him properly. "You cannot come with me," he said. "You're not a ninja, and also you're still a small child." "I'm a big child," she said, "not a small one." "Maybe soon enough, but not now," said Naruto. "You said you want to become a ninja like me. So, just work on that, and perhaps one day we'll go on a mission together." "But I want to come with you," she said. "I can be help. Remember my surprise punch?" As she punched him in the shoulder. "Surprise attack." "For one thing, you can't call out the punch when you're doing it." "Really?" "Yeah. It will let your opponents know that you're there." "Oh yeah. I suppose you're right." She jumped towards him as she crawled into his shirt as Naruto looked down. As she clutched onto him. "I'm still going," she said. A chain embarked from Kushina palm as it wrapped around Mito and pulled her off Naruto as she started squirming, fighting mid-air. "Surprise attack," she said as she punched the chain. Before she winks. "Ow." As Kushina pulled her in a hug. "It's alright, honey," she said. "Everything's gonna be fine. Your brother is gonna be taking his first mission. Soon enough you will be taking your first mission as well. And I'm going to be a wreck, just as I am right now. But you cannot go with him. After all, your brother is a hero, right?" "Yeah," said Mito. "So don't you think that he'll be able to protect himself and beat up the bad guys?" "Yeah, of course." "So then, have faith in him." "Yeah, you're right." "I'm sorry, big brother," she said. "My faith waver in you. It will never happen again, okay?" As Naruto came over and ruffled her hair. "It's alright," he said, as he zipped up his backpack. "I'll go and defeat the bad guys and come back. And I'll tell you all about my travels, okay?" As she hugged him tightly. "Be safe," she said. As Naruto hugged her back. "I will." Before he moved in and hugged Kushina as well, hugging the two of them, as Kushina hugged him back as well. After which, he embarked. As Naruto made his way, he arrived to the Hokage's office as he saw Kakashi there waiting for him. Usually, this would be an incident. After all, Kakashi was early for something. But the thing was, Kakashi was curious in Naruto and in this whole thing. And not to mention this was their first mission outside the village. And he was more curious in Naruto to see what exactly Naruto was capable of. As the kid intrigued him a lot. Let us head up then," said Kakashi, as they made their way towards the top of the tower. Upon arriving in the Hokage's tower, Hiruzen smiled as he greeted them. As they did not go to the mission room, they came to him personally because he had their first mission here. As this was a field test to see how Naruto would react to the outside world, as Kakashi will be monitoring him. "I have a C-rank mission here for you too. This first mission will be a collaboration mission." "A collaboration?" "Yes. With the Netsuko village. Recently, there has been a few missing people from one of our allied village, the Land of Swamp, mostly teenage girls. They have been a victim of kidnapping. Said village doesn't have the manpower to take on these forces that are currently in the process of wreaking havoc through those lands. The Land of Swamp had been contacted by Netsuko village because the same has been happening for their Kunoichi as well. Whoever this unknown assailant is, they have run into a few Netsuko Kunoichi and they have kidnapped them." As Naruto listened to all of the information. "So, you'll be joining up with a few Kunoichis from Netsuko village to rescue these girls, and also the Netsuko village Kunoichi as well." As Kakashi caught the scroll that Hiruzen tossed towards him, as he looked it over. "Well, it seems simple enough. What should we expect?" "Well, it seems that there is just mostly bandits, but there is a ringleader, perhaps a missing shinobi, I'm not sure. But from the reports and how the group has been terrorizing the villages and fleeing, I believe that it's nothing that you and the Netsuko village Kunoichis cannot handle. But be careful. Naruto, he said, turning towards Naruto. This is your first secret mission. Your first mission as a whole. I wish you luck. Thank you, Hokage, said Naruto. Shall we go? Kakashi nodded as the both of them made their way off. As Hiruzen watched them leave, he hoped everything went well. This was their first calibration mission with the Netsuko village because, mostly, the women stay isolated by themselves, as it was a village, mostly made up of women. But, considering the circumstances and not to mention these women from the land of swamp are also teenage girls and they respect their gender, they decided to ally with Konoha for this, and Hiruzen did not see any problem in this. It was better than the two of them just running in there and not knowing what was going on and end up causing each other problem. So this was definitely better in the long run. Time skip. Both Naruto and Kakashi were making their way towards Rendezvous Point. They had been running for the past 2 hours. Kakashi had the stamina to spare after all. He was a part of Anbu, moving quickly through late nights, missions that were rather not said out loud. Well, his stamina. He was able to move as long as he could, but Naruto was showing no sign of fatigue or even loss of stamina. It was like he was not even moving. As Hiruzen had told him that Naruto was peculiar, and given that Naruto was basically from a tree, well, that's a big sign that he was. But Hiruzen had told him to look out for Naruto, so did Kushina as well, to make sure everything went well. And Kakashi was in short to make sure everything went well. As they kept on moving, as they started to slow down, as they arrived close to said village, as it was not too far and after running for so long straight through the land of fire, they made their way. As both men were currently making their way towards the land of swamp, where they will meet up with the Netsuko Kunoichis. As Naruto was looking around, so how is your first experience outside the village? Kakashi asks. The trees are much more different here. Said Kakashi. The ones in the land of fire, they're a lot larger, but the ones here are a lot smaller, said Naruto. And not to mention they are less with chakra. Well, you see, Naruto, it was the first Hokage that created the forest around the land of fire. Most of these trees were imbued with this chakra, so I'm sure that is what you're sensing. Yes, I can feel the peculiar chakra inside of them. That is not as abundant in these ones, said Naruto. It is quite powerful. I read about that man, the first Hokage. He's said to have the same technique that I have. Yes, Hiruzen told me about that your Mokidan. But it seems like you have a greater control over it. Is that so? Said Naruto. Yes, you said you read about him. You heard that he had to perform hand signs, correct? Oh yes, said Naruto. Because I can simply do this. As Naruto held out his hand as a vine erupted from the ground and coiled around his hand, before it went back down. And he has to use hand signs. So I guess I have a stronger control over the Mokidan. I'm not sure that what you use is Mokidan. It seems like you have a control over nature itself. While Hashirama Senju was able to mix water and earth together to create plant life and manipulate it in such an extent, yours seem different. A lot different from his. Yes, I've noticed that, said Naruto. From what I read, it seems like we're not the same in that regard. Perhaps it was because I was once a tree that I'm in tune with them. You know, the more you say that, the more it just sounds ridiculous, said Kakashi. No offense, but I mean you were an actual tree. How did you gain sentience and life? I spoke to Kushina and she told me. And why weren't you born a female if it was Kushina's blood? Why you a male? I'm not sure, said Naruto. I did overheard her talking about Minato Namikaze. Oh, my sensei. Yes, the one that she fell in love with. And I thought that it was a better idea. Well, at the time I wasn't sure if I had thoughts, but it seems right to be how I am right now. That I can more protect her. The way she spoke about Minato, him being a hero, being a symbol of hope for the people. I believe I could become that, so I became this. As Naruto looked himself over. And yeah, that's pretty much it. From beyond that though, I don't have much memories. All that I remember is the screaming. The screaming? Yes. I'm not sure what it was. If it's a scream or it's a roar. but it is some beast that conflicts me every time I think about it, and it also causes me headaches. So Lady Kushina told me not to think about it, and I have stopped, and ever since, I've been relatively fine, said Naruto. There hasn't been a painful headache like the ones I've received before. Well, that's good. Headaches are never anything normal, said Kakashi, and if you can avoid them by not thinking about it, I guess you should. Yes, Lady Kushina is a rather smart person. As the two of them were still walking as they spoke, taking a turn as they made their way towards the Land of Swamp. The Land of Swamp had a police force just like the Uchiha. They didn't really have powerful ninjas, that is why they were unable to stop these hooligans from taking away and kidnapping their female population, as they had run through the village and they had overwhelmed them. But they had fled like they were running from something, or perhaps they were just cowards. Seeing the headbands, people start to whisper, as finally, they're getting help. More than one though, as a few Kunoichis had arrived earlier. As the Land of Swamp people had spread out, and they were able to find a trail, the next Kunoichis were currently here, as they would be retrieving their own Kunoichis as well, that were taken. Never leave a girl behind. As Naruto and Kakashi were brought straight towards the head office of the Land of Swamp. Arriving inside, there was a man. He had brown eyes and brown hair as well. He was dressed in a formal clothing, something of a more richer populace. Ah, I thank you so much for coming on such short notice. As the man gave them a nod of appreciation. Oh, it's quite alright, said Kakashi, as he turned towards the two ladies in the office. One of them was a rather tall woman, same height as Kakashi. She had striking golden hair, as it stopped right at her shoulders. She had deep green eyes. She was dressed in a sleeveless red shirt, with bandage covering her arms. There was a green cloak around her waist, as you could see bandage on her legs. Beside her was a younger one. She had black hair and also green eyes as well, as she was dressed in a black clothing with armor on the side of her shoulders going down. She had a grey obi tied around her waist and black pants with sandals that came up a bit, as her hair was done up in a ponytail. She glanced towards Naruto as he looked back at her. These are the Kunoichi that came here from Netsuko village. It seems like some of their Kunoichi has also been kidnapped by these scoundrels. Oh, pardon me, the man said. My name is Kaido Orase. As Kakashi nodded in respect. The name is Kakashi Hatake, and this is Naruto Uzumaki. As Naruto nodded back to the man, as the both of them turned towards the woman. You can refer to me as Kano, the tall blonde said, as they glanced towards the shorter one. My name is Odehime, she said, as they gave her back a nod. The man then pulled out a map as he started to discuss what his police force had found. Time skip. Kakashi and Kano were at the front, as they were good trackers it seems, as the woman was able to track. And not to mention that the more they walked, the more they found signs of a large group moving through here, and there was a struggle. As Naruto glanced towards Odehime, Kakashi sensei told me about your village while we were coming here. Oh? And what did he tell you, she said, as she had heard the man's name back in the office. She seemed to be around Naruto's age, maybe a year older. The Netsuko village. Your Kunoichis set out from your village to find proper hosts that are strong enough to be brought back and bear children with you, said Naruto. Is that correct? Yes, it seems you're well informed. But I'm not surprised. We are well known, Odehime said, as Naruto tilted his head. Is that all it is about? Power, he asks. What do you mean, she asks. Well, you take strong warriors back to your village. Do you care for these warriors? It has been like this since I was younger, she told him. And for a long time. Thus is the religion of our village. I hope you can respect our religion. Oh, I don't mean any offense, said Naruto. It's just, it's the first time hearing of a concept like this before. So, you seem to be around my age. Is there a special circumstances why you're out here as well? Well, if you must know, she said as she looked him over. The innocent look on his face. She spoke. My mother is the leader of the village. I am next in line to become the leader of the village. So it's my duty to be out here as well, helping Kano to find and rescue our Kunoichis from certain danger and whatever these despicable men are trying to do to our Kunoichi. As he saw the anger flash in her eyes. It's alright to be upset, said Naruto. I have a younger sister, and my mother as well, and I would be angry if anything happened to either of them. You have a younger sister? How old? She asks. 3 years old, said Naruto, as she looked surprised. What's with the look? He asks. I also have a younger sister. Her name is Shizuka. Now I can see why you're so angry and moving to make sure that your Kunoichis are okay. I would feel the same way if I was in your position, said Naruto. I promise you will get them back. Even I know that you should never promise something like that. This world is unpredictable. Well, if they have not met their demise, there is nothing that can stop me from returning them back to you. Confident in your skill, are you? Well, I suppose you can say that, said Naruto. But I won't be marrying you. What? She said. Well, you do take strong man to become your husband and bear your children, so I won't be marrying you. I never asked you to, she said. Besides, I am not of proper age yet to take part in the tradition. And besides, as you said for yourself, we choose strong mate. You speak quite confidently, but I have not seen what you're capable of yet. As Naruto turned his head, well then, you will see. Kakashi, he said. Kakashi glanced behind him. I can sense them. As Kano looked towards Naruto. You can? As she spread her senses, she was a sensor, but not really that powerful. But she can't sense anything. I don't sense anything, she said. As Naruto looked towards the ground before he kneeled down, the ground cracked open as something started to emerge as he got back to his feet. It was a strange pipe made from wood. How did you? Said Onihime. It was then that they started to hear voices. We caught quite a hefty sum, haven't we, boss? I mean, look at them. And these ones. They are Kunoichis from that village, Netsuko village. While we can't go there to take the girls, we caught some of them out in the open. It seems that they were on a mission. But now they belong to us. Good, good. You've done well. I thought for a moment there would have to get rid of you guys. Why would you say that, boss? Well, you've been lacking lately. After all, I've not been getting the proper amount I should have been getting. Because most of the girls you brought me recently are battered and bruised. And no one wants anything that is misleading and rather unflattering. But bringing me Kunoichis, well, that's a good thing. They're harder to break, but I have someone that can break them. As the man chuckled, good work, you guys. How many did you lose? Well, they were quite strong. 7, boss. They killed 7 grown men. I mean, they're just Kunoichis. Yeah, but they're quite strong, boss. Alright, enough. What about the other village? We caught a couple from the land of swamp. They were not really a hassle because they're just civilians. Well, they would do. As the pipe went back in the ground. What was that? Kano said. The conversation of the man that is speaking, said Naruto. I believe that he's a leader. But how do you do it? Ask Orihime. I made a pipe emerge where they are. Using my chakra, I allow the sound to travel, so we can hear it. You control wood. Is that perhaps the Mokiton? You know about it, said Naruto. Well, who wouldn't? The first Hokage of your village, Konoha, possessed the Mokiton technique. Are you perhaps related to him? No, I don't think so, said Naruto. Unless he made me. As Kakashi realized what Naruto was talking about, thinking that Hoshirama made the tree that he was created from. Well, where are they, Naruto, he said, cutting the questioning short. A few miles over there, said Naruto. There are a couple of them. I can feel the Kunoichis, said Naruto. Meanwhile, the girls that were locked away in the cell, there was a woman there. It's gonna be alright, she said. As a few siblings girls were scared, not knowing if they were ever gonna get free. Unknown to them, a few branches. A few small flowers started to embark through the small gaps in the cell that they were in, allowing Naruto to feel exactly where they were and how much of them is there. Kano looked towards Naruto. How can you tell from such far away? I don't know, but I just can't, he said. Well then, let's not waste any time. Let's go see Kakashi. As Odahime glanced towards Naruto, surprised that he could do that. As the group made their way, they arrived toward a small hillside as they looked down towards the camp. Naruto, can you do what you did before? Asked Kakashi. As Naruto tapped the ground, a small pipe emerged right in the center of the camp. Hey, boss said that he's gonna let us have a little fun with two of the siblings' girls. He said that we deserve it after the good raid that we brought him. And he said they can be spared. Which one should we pick? Hey, I like that one. After all, I like big boobies. As they heard chuckling, Odahime clenched her fists as Kano gritted her teeth in anger. These disgusting, defiling men. Screaming could be heard. Naruto, do you think that you can block off anyone from getting near to where the girls are? Asked Kakashi. It shall be done, said Naruto. Alright, from what I can feel, these guys don't seem to be a real threat. They're just high-level bandits. The only one that we should be worrying about is the few in that tent over there, said Kakashi, gesturing toward the leader left. We shall handle the bandits and free the girls. Can you handle the rest? It shall be done, said Kakashi. As the group nodded and moved, they stormed down the hill. Naruto glanced towards Odahime as he saw her remove the armor on top of her shoulder blades. It was then that she tossed it. It whipped through the air as Spike came out of the top and bottom half and stabbed into the man's hand. As he backed away from said girl crying in pain, it then retracted as Naruto noticed a seal that was on her wrist. As it came back to her hand rather quickly, she jumped down and she tossed another one right into the man's neck, ending his life without battering an eye. As Naruto stood there, he saw Kano move as she took one of them down with a strike to the throat. They deserve it, did they not? They were animals. Naruto, said Kakashi. Oh yes, he forgot. As Naruto slammed his hand down, massive vines erupted from the earth before they encircled around the cage, stopping anyone from getting too close to it. The girl that was brought out for the man's enjoyment was a dark-haired girl with blue eyes, as she seemed to be around 15 or 16 years old. Her wrist was red from being tied and pulled. As her eyes were puffy, she was looking around as one of the men pulled the blade, seeing the girl, realizing that she would be a good bargaining chip as he grabbed her as she screamed a bit. But he covered her mouth. Be quiet or you die, he said, as she instantly went quiet. As Naruto landed in front of said man. Huh, a brat? I don't know who you are, brat, but it's best if you get out of here. I'm sorry, but I can't do that, said Naruto. I'm going to ask you to release her. Huh. It seems like you don't understand the situation here. I am the one who have a captive, I guess. You people want her back. So stand down before things get ugly, he said, as he pressed the blade up against her throat. You would end your life, said Naruto. Of course I will. Without even battering an eye, so back up! Now, the man shouted at Naruto. As Naruto kneeled down and picked up a small stone, as he held on to it, as he started to admire the stone. Are you deaf, kid? Naruto tossed it. The man started to gargle. The girl looked around as she saw the man with a gaping hole through his throat, as the man gargled on his blood, struggling to breathe as he collapsed on his knees. Naruto gripped him by the face as he caught the man before he could fall on the ground. He looked around until he saw spikes that were holding up a tent as he tossed the man. The man dropped as the spikes burst through his back and teared through his chest. Are you alright? Said Naruto. The girl cried. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. As Naruto placed a hand on her head, even though she was a bit taller than him, as he patted her head. Before a small vine came from the ground and wrapped her in her waist, she screamed a bit. It will be fine. "This is me," he said. It brought her towards where the other girls were. "What's going on?" one of the other girls asked, unable to fully see what was going on. "It seems like we're being safe," one of the Netsuko Kunoichi said. It was then an explosion went off as Naruto saw Kakashi landing beside him. The arm sleeve of his clothing was cinched a bit. "Naruto, it seems we have some problem here." "Problem?" "This man is known as the War Beast. He was quite a dangerous fellow back in the past, until he decided to try his luck against Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage. He was soundly defeated, but using his own comrades as shield, he was able to get away with his life, thus claiming to be one of the few people that ever got away from the legendary Yellow Flash. It seems his comrades are more stronger than I thought, as Naruto saw 3 of them with blades. They have ninja training and they know how to control their chakra. I'm gonna need your help." "It will be received," said Naruto, as Kakashi turned his gaze towards the War Beast. "I know you. Kakashi Hatake." The man was a behemoth. He was tall, around 6'6". He was muscular, long black hair going down to his back with a goatee, as he had a jug of sake in his hand. He tossed it aside after drinking some out. "I guess my reputation will be boosted once I take you down and bring your head back as proof." "The copy ninja, are you ready to die?" he asks. Kakashi started to flash through hand sign as the man chuckled. "I survived the legendary 4th Hokage. Do you really think that you can kill me, boy?" he said. As Kakashi went through hand sign before lightning started to chirp on his hand, he moved. "Shidori," he said. The War Beast slammed his hand together as his hands became encased in rock. Earth fist as he slammed both hands on the ground. The place erupted as Naruto was blown off his feet. As he was soaring through the air, one of the swordsmen flashed behind him with their blade, ready to decapitate him as Naruto ducked, pushing his body out of mid-air, surprising the man. When he landed, he reached forward and slammed his fist into the man's stomach. The man was confused as he didn't feel anything until a racking force followed. As the pressure seemed to be delayed, his eyes bulged out. He puked out blood. All the air out of his lungs seemed to have snapped away as he was launched. He broke through several tents before crashing. The other one came as Naruto turned. A miniature black ball formed in his hand as Naruto brought it up. The man struck it, but the blade exploded as the ball, reacting negatively. The blade was torn apart like it was never there. The man looked on in surprise as Naruto flicked the black ball towards him. It slammed in his chest. The man screamed as the thing started literally tear him apart. The pressure that he was applying slammed him through the ground. It entered his skin. The man's eyes went wide as he puked up blood. As he started to spasm and shake before, boom, he exploded from the inside out. A vine erupted from the ground, blocking all the blood, so nothing splashed on Naruto, as a small black ball returned back Naruto's palm before it vanished into dust. The last one that was left was standing there trembling at the sight of Naruto, as the man was afraid. Seeing his comrades got picked off like that they were nothing, he started to back away until a sharp metal sliced through his throat. It was Kano, as she pushed her blade through his throat, killing him instantly. She gave Naruto a nod as Naruto nodded back. Meanwhile, Naruto watches Kakashi jump away as the War Beasts brought up hundreds of earth spikes. Kakashi flipped and dodged each and every one of them as Naruto stood there watching. The moment Kakashi landed, he created a clone, as electricity ran between him and the clone before they destroyed all the pillars as he leaped forward. The War Beast jumped as he threatened to punch Kakashi down, but he hit the clone. The real Kakashi drive a bone-crushing kick to his stomach before crushing the man down to the ground. The man got back up though and backhanded Kakashi as he came down towards him. The man was physically strong, and despite his size he was fast, but still Kakashi was stronger. He decided to end this as he reached up towards his headband But before he could, as the man smirked, "Now, let us see the famous..." A roaring sound could be heard. The roar of flames. The war beast turned as his eyes widened. The chakra buildup was so fast that he never sensed it. He turned to meet the inferno of flames that was roaring down towards them. Kakashi leaped away as the war beast was caught up in the flames. The man screamed out in agonizing pain as Naruto kept on spewing flames from his mouth. It scorched the building, it scorched the tents, burning everything around him. The war beast screamed and screamed and screamed until melt. His skin melted off his bones. As Naruto finally stopped, the man collapsed down towards the ground. Well, not more man, just bones. "Are you alright?" said Naruto as he walked over towards Kakashi. "Yes. I had that, but thanks," he said. As Kakashi looked towards the bones that remained, as they turned into dust. As he glanced towards Naruto, who walked over towards the girls. Naruto touched the roots as they all returned back to the ground. He then opened the cell, as the girls started to file out. "Konami," said Kano as she looked towards one of her Nexico fellow sisters. As the girl smiled, they then turned towards a smaller one. "Lady Odehime, you're here." "I will never leave my people to suffer at the hands of anyone," Odehime said. Time skip, they had returned the girls back to the village, as they were all so grateful and thankful. Especially the one that Naruto saved, as she thanked him over 1,000 times. But he told her that it was fine, but she saw him as her hero after all. He saved her. God knows what would have happened to her if they hadn't arrived. The unthinkable, as she couldn't even think of it. She was grateful to them. She was grateful to them all for what they had done. At the moment though, Naruto stood in front of Odehime as they were in the process of leaving to return back home. "It seems like you were right. You're not all boast," she said, looking him over. "I must say, you're one strong man," she told him. "So you want to take me back to your village," said Naruto. "I told you, I am not of proper age yet, but I am inclined to do so once I reach proper age. But if I defeat you, that means we won't have to do anything. I can simply ignore your challenge," said Naruto. "Can I not?" "Yes, you can. But I could make it hard for you to do so." "Yes, you can do that," said Naruto. "But I'm sure that soon enough you will find someone that you care about." Recently, I read more studies about a book that involve human romance. It turns out when you care about someone, the relationship is more intimate and deeper. "What are you trying to say?" "Well, I'm merely stating that if you find someone that you care about, it will make you a lot more happy," said Naruto. "We are just strangers, recently met to take this mission. So, it would be rather ill-advised for us to get married without even knowing anything about each other." "So you're saying I should get to know you," she said. "That has never been your history before. This is how our history works." "Yes, but I am not a part of your history. So I bid you farewell for now. Perhaps we will meet again in the future, and we don't have to fight. It's been a pleasure meeting you." As he extended his hand, she took it and shook it. "You're one strange individual, you know that, right?" "But you're not bad," she said. "Well then, let's look forward towards the future then." "Goodbye for now, Naruto Uzumaki." "Same to you, Odehime," said Naruto. As they separated, Naruto met back up with Kakashi. "So, what was that about?" Kakashi asked, with a twinkle in his eye. "She wanted to know if we can fight in the future, for us to get married." "What did you say?" asked Kakashi. "Well, I told her to find someone that she cares about." Kakashi blinked. "What do you mean?" "Well, it would be rather illogical for us to be together without knowing anything about each other. But I'm not sure she understands what I said, because she said that she wants to know me better." "Well, you see, Naruto, in doing so, the both of you can have a deeper relationship, a commitment." "Yes, I've read about that as well," said Naruto. "But I don't know her." "Well, you don't have to know someone to get to understand them. After all, we're all strangers in the beginning. I guess you're correct, said Naruto. Perhaps I will marry her then. No, don't just base something on something so quickly, said Kakashi. You have to think about things and, yeah, go through things. I mean, like you said, you just got to know her. Don't just get married so early. Is it bad, said Naruto. No, it's not bad, it's just... Well, life of a shinobi is short. So some people advise that you find the one that is out there for you rather quickly, but it's hard. Perhaps you may never find that precious one, said Kakashi. Have you found that precious one? Don't think so, said Kakashi. But who knows, you might be a quicker learner than me. I am, said Naruto. Huh? Said Kakashi. I'm merely stating that I am. I have a photographic memory, and I'm pretty smart. Yeah, I guess you're right there, said Kakashi. I heard that you got hundreds in all of your tests. Never getting anything below 100. As I said, I have a photographic memory, said Naruto. The academy kids were quite upset to hear that I was leaving. Some of them wanted to speak to me, but I declined. Why? Are they your friends? Yes, but I've left the academy just like Itachi now. So when they become a ninja, we should talk. So you're saying that you won't talk to them unless they become a ninja? Perhaps, said Naruto. But I will talk to Izumi, said Naruto. She's different. She's a closer friend, and plus, we kissed. You what? I said we kissed. It was the most logical thing to do. It was the final time I would be going to the academy and she will still take part, so I kissed her to make her know that I acknowledge and accept her friendship. She wasn't angry about it, so I guess it was a win-win, said Naruto. You know, you're quite something, said Kakashi, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised. As he chuckled a bit, as Naruto didn't understand what was so funny, as both men made their way back to said village. Meanwhile, Lady Odehime, are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. You wouldn't be happy to think about a certain redhead now, would you? Why would you say that? I'm just recollecting my thoughts. As she turned her head so, her advisor could not see her red cheeks. As the woman simply smiled. Well, it seems she found someone to tussle with in the future. Maybe, maybe not. She didn't know yet. Time skip. Kakashi had went to speak to Hiruzen more about their mission once it returned. As Naruto went home, as Mito was overjoyed to see him, Kushina as well, as he had returned safe and sound from his first mission, and it was a complete success. A few days later, the Netsuko village sent an agreement of alliance with Konoha. Now that was surprising. The Netsuko village was not allied with so much villages. Yes, they were not really outgoing, because they mostly stick to themselves. So this was rather surprising. It seems that they wanted to keep in touch with Konoha. Or did a certain someone want to keep in touch with a certain redhead? That is what Kakashi had said. Asked Naruto, wonder if he was speaking about Odehime. But he merely shrugged it off afterwards though. At the moment, Naruto was currently in a tree. The reason being, as he was in the forest of death, sitting in a tree. He had a dream last night. He was walking through a vast wasteland. He then saw someone. He didn't know who the man was, but the man had purple eyes, with a strange red mark in his head. He also had horns. And then he saw a woman. It felt like he had to protect her. She had this sensation about her like he wanted to protect her. She had clear lavender eyes, almost like Hinata. She was wearing a white cloak. He wasn't sure who these people were, but they were fighting, and he was also fighting. But he wanted to protect the woman, but he didn't know why though. But he just had a strange feeling to protect her. These thoughts had been plaguing him since last night. He didn't know why. As he sat in said tree, he started to meditate, to clear his mind. Itachi had told him that was a good thing to do, So did his mother. So he was trying to clear his mind of these thoughts, because he was becoming too conflicted. The sensation of protecting his woman, it was strong, but he could fight it off, but he didn't know why he had it in the first place. Kakashi had given him a day off, so he could use this time to clear his mind, but he'd rather go on a mission. Perhaps that would clear his mind even more. That is when he heard a hissing sound. As he opened his eyes to see a massive snake in front of him. The thing was large, like really large. As it looked at him, its head was as large as his entire body. Perhaps he was angry that he was taking the chakra away from the snakes, when he just found out about his ability. As Naruto looked it right in the eyes, unflinching, unblinking. It was then he felt the person arriving. You know, I'm surprised that you're able to remain so calm in front of my friend here. Most people would already be wetting themselves. Or have you passed out because of shock? I have not passed out, said Naruto as he got to his feet. It's just, I am hard to scare, said Naruto. I don't even know if I can. Huh, you're a cocky one, aren't you? You know, cocky people don't last so long in this world. Cocky. Oh, I get your slang you mean. I'm being too much of myself. I've heard that before, said Naruto. But I assure you I'm not. As Naruto looked towards the snake, Naruto's eyes focused on the snake as the snake focused back on him. The snake then started to cower down. The woman was surprised. Huh, you actually pushed him into submission. Well, now that's intriguing. As she landed beside Naruto. Hey, who the hell are you, kid? The name is Naruto Uzumaki. May I ask who are you? Oh, that's easy. I'm Uncle Midarashi, future master of interrogation department. Nice to meet you. She held out her hand. As she saw Naruto look at her hand for a moment and she thought. But he took it. As she shook it. Nice to meet you, Uncle Midarashi, said Naruto. As Uncle smiled, she didn't know why, but she believed that this will be the start of a wonderful friendship. As she had a smirk on her face. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see next parts and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was the Boogeyman of the World, and enjoy that guys, over on Anime King 2, brand new series. So go ahead and enjoy that guys. And remember to stay tuned for the episode coming over Anime King, which I hope you guys will enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King 2, and Making 3, which I post what every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to join and turn on that bell notification as they posted. But I'm out for now, see you guys soon, peace.